So everything is a balance in life. Hello there and welcome back to another video by Redesign. And in this episode, I just want to show you how I went about the sound design for the sequence of Far Cry 6 and the Kena gameplay. So I did not make the sounds for these games, but what I did is that I redesigned them. And I just want to show you how I go about this and why I I do what I do. So now I just want you to watch the video sequence, and after that we're going to talk about it. Yeah, right. So that's it. And let's start with the Far Cry 6 short sequence that I recorded somewhere from YouTube. And let's see what we have first. So what I start doing is that I remove all the audio from that sequence of gameplay, first of all. And let's see what we have here. So I start out always with the obvious sounds. Okay, so now in that video right here, what we have is a man walking, and that needs some footsteps, obviously, and it needs some splash sounds when he's walking into the water. That could be cool to add that. And also we also have to think of the first person shooter. What is he doing? I think he's breathing when he's walking, so I added some breathe noises to that as well. I see a lot of times that people are forgetting these sounds, and of course, not always. It's nice when the man is breathing there, but I think for this, because it's so silent, the soundscape, so I thought I would add that right here. Anyway, let's have a look and see what's actually happening here. He's pulling his gun. That needed some sound as well. And I would add some gear sound effects in that and layer these sounds and stack them on top of each other and see what we can get out of this. He's shooting. 3 shots. Should it be the same sound? Almost. With variations. We can variate the pitch envelope, the length of the sound clip, and yeah, there are some parameters we can change. So I'll go more in depth of that when we go to it. The man here is dying. He's falling on the ground. So every little detail here needs some sound, I think. Let's see what we have. He's reloading, taking off that CD, throwing it on the ground, pulling up a new one. So here we cannot hear the sound, but we can imagine that there's a sound from the CD when it's hitting the ground, right? Putting it back on the weapon, reloading, and then standing still. So that's how I approach this when I go about how to sound design for a short video sequence. Okay, so let's go back again and see with the sounds. Let's stop here for a second, okay? I started with the rain sounds. So I just pulled up from a field recording some rain sounds that I have. And then the rain, for that rain ambience, I think that should be not, I want to remove some of the higher frequencies because I think it just adds something to that when you have that carved away, these high frequencies. It gives a more soft sound in a way. So that's just how I go about it. And then what do we have here? Let's see. The footsteps, the splash, not gonna talk about that much because that is simply there's not a lot of talk about there. I'll go more in depth of the pulling the gun sound, for example, here. So basically, I just found a lot of sounds that I could use for this. I add them to the project, experiment and see what fits best, okay? So what we have for the sound when he's pulling the gun is this, first of all. Just a random sound somewhere. And here, a higher frequency sound. So what I'm doing here, my approach to this is that I want some high frequency sound, some low frequency sound, and that will add up a mix to that specific sound. And a simple gear handling effect sound or from a gun or something. I can't remember where I got all these sounds from. But when we stack them together, it sounds really cool in that soundscape. So it's like when we hear this solo, when we solo this out, we can't tell where the sound should be or what it fits with, you know. But when we look at the video and with all the other elements, it just fits. And always what I do is that I fading in all the sounds and fading out a bit so we will avoid all these clicks and pops. Okay, let's go on and see what we have, okay? Let's talk about the gunshots here, okay? So when designing gunshots for this, I really don't want an actual gun sound because this is not a gun that we know from reality. So we could make it more artistic in a way, and I thought this weapon should not sound like a big like a big boomy sound of a gun. So this is more like an electric gun in a way, like sounds. So I added, of course, laser sounds. Let's have a look. So for example, when I'm working on a sound like this, I would never add the same sound here. I'll just do some variations in the pitch envelope and also stretch them a bit and see if we could do some variations on that. I mean, when working with, if we want to implement these sounds into a game engine, for example, Unity, via some middleware software like Fmod or Wise, I would not do that approach here because in Fmod we can do the percentage of the envelopes on the multi-instruments there. So so this is just more for linear work. Here's some high frequency stuff with a lot of with some stereo here. Some boomy impact with some low end here boosted. Okay, remove the high frequencies. And with the bassy impacts, it's always a good idea to do them in mono. So we'll have them right in the center of the sound picture. So Here, for example, just a grenade fall, and I think it fits very well because we have some high frequency stuff. Just layering stuff, basically. This is interesting, okay? Because this is not the actual gun sound. This is more for this is more a lead up to that sound, just a small riser, and it just adds something when it's not coming directly. It's, yeah, that's how I go about it. I think it's a really cool way to do that. So basically we need some, I see we need some fades on this. Just another sound. A more futuristic sound for this fits really good. Let's see everything together. Excuse me. Yeah, it adds. So so that's basically the gunshots. And what I did when it's hitting him, all this when the CD is hitting the flesh of this guy here, it also needs some sound, right? So there's some blood splat here I have, basically. And then we have something here, like some more impact soundish, so we can really hear the flesh of that guy. And when the man dies, he's screaming. Okay. So yeah, that's basically that. And let's see what we have here as well. Wow, and for the reload sound here, I mean, reload sounds from guns can be really harsh to listen to because it contains a lot of high frequency stuff. So what I like this approach for this type of style, I really want to curve out the higher frequency stuff there because I want a more soft sound for this. So let's have a look at that gun handling here. And the CD drive is hitting the ground. And then there's reload here. Let's see. This one here. I really like that sound. Yeah. And let's see here. I'm just quickly going over these small sounds here, so you can see how I did this. Anyway, let's listen to everything together again. Sorry. Now we can listen to it. And now the breathing here, like from the nose, it really adds something, I think, in this. Like you just killed a man and then slowly breathing, you know, like a crazy motherfucker. Anyway, let's go on to the more interesting stuff, I would say. So I recently found this game called Kina. It looks amazing, really cool, and I thought it could be cool to do some redesign of a snippet of that gameplay. So I just took a gameplay from FA Games on YouTube, and then I added this. So here again, some obvious sounds, footsteps on grass. So basically just find that online and see what we can get. Regarding all the sounds, I use Boom Library, Sound Snap. I bought sounds. I go out in the field and I record sounds. I do some Foley work here and there if I need some sounds that I cannot find online. So basically it's a mix, and it's also a balance of how much time are you willing to use on achieving the sounds, of course. So everything is a balance in life. Let's see. Bird chirping, I love it. In this soundscape, it fits perfectly. Some ambience in the beginning here, and when we are a small pop-up, I panned it a bit to the left. Now they are spawning. So now the more evil sounds come in. Okay, there's dong, and now what do we have again? I look at the video, I see we have this kind of electric spawning effect from these creatures here. So I thought I would find some sort of an electric sound for this, which is here. Let's open up this project and let's see what we have. So you hear this me effect here, electric spawn here. Yeah, I just fit it perfectly for that. Anyway, let's go and see what we have. So now we go into the arrow, okay? So we have the arrows here, okay? Let's see. I mean, just really. And again, some arrow effects. Pulling the arrow. Hitting the creature with the arrow. And again, hitting with some flesh sound. And when we add it up, sounds like this. Just be creative with a lot of sound and experiment. It takes do some takes, okay? So let's say one day you add a lot of shit to the project, and then the other day you're like, maybe you should change some of the sounds, and just like music production in general, basically. So okay, so here what you can hear when this creature is throwing some spells on these small creatures, what we can hear is that it's panning a bit to the right, because I was looking at it, I was like, okay, let's have a look here. Let's have a look. So it's panning to the right here. Let's see if I can find these sounds, spells. Always organize, guys, okay? So you can find your stuff afterwards. Okay, and I also want to mention that we also have to look at the camera, the angle of that listener. Okay, the player, the first person player. What is the listener listening to here, okay? So I would say when we're here, for example. So when we are here, the small creatures, they're on our right. So we need some spatial sound in a way. So we need that these small creatures to be panned to the right. So we can just do that with some modulation in that envelope. So that's basically how I go about it. Let's see. Right here, I did some panning envelopes here. So now it's on our right. Still a bit right. Right, again. And now the player is moving, okay? So the sound should also move. It's very important. Yeah, that's basically it. So just keep that in mind when sound designing. And so for the slow motion effect, I think it's really cool with a swoosh. And then some tonality on top of that swoosh would just add some more interesting things to this, okay? So let's go ahead to the group of slow motion here. See what we have right here. It's like ding. It's like we're about to do something here. That rewarding sound, in a way. And slow motion is quite rewarding because we can handle the creatures more easily. Bam. And so for the let's talk about the player here, okay? So when I design sounds for when she's hurt, let's see here. These are different sounds with variations of its pitch and the length of the sample as well, and a bit of the volume as well. So just always remember to do variations in your sound design. Just mix it so it's not that loud, and you know, it's when in the mix. There are so many approaches for this, but that's just how I go about it. And the spell. Boom. The spell is like boom. So when adding or designing sounds from scratch, what you can think about is the equalization of these sounds, okay? So what I tend to do in music production is more with the tonality as well. There could be a lot of resonances that we don't like in these sounds. They can be really harsh to our ears and can damage our ears. So what you can do is approach that will let's say you have an equalizer, you can do a notch and add like plus 10 dBs or something like that, and then you can sweep through the frequency range and see where all these annoying frequencies they are in that sound. So that was just minimize the risk of damaging your ears. And if when you remove some of these harsh frequencies, you can actually add some white noise to fill up that room. So so that works pretty well. I am working on more game audio and music as well. So I'll provide you with some more information, and I will also upload some upcoming releases. I did some psytrance and some melodic techno that I really love. So stay tuned, guys. If you want to see how I did the music, I will also do a breakdown of that psytrance track that I've just created. So stay tuned. If you like this video, please let me know what you think in the comments and like the video as well. And I'll just catch you guys in the next one.